Fu, did you hear that they are writing a book about the origins of the Red Tornado?
I did not.
They are. Right now, it's just a draft.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome to the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube. It's Fanboys Live and the Retro Review, and we're so happy that you're here. And you got hopefully a bonus day to your weekend so you can stay up even later on tonight and discuss all the fun that you just watched in tonight's show, which is going to be fun. I'm Ryan Magic Lasso. Thank you so much for stopping by to check out the show today. Currently joined by Fanboy Comic Food 2814. How are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to attendance.
Yes. And I guess we start that right now with Comic Food 2814, present and accounted for.
Here. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Tim the Comic Collector is not here and said he is wearing a purple shirt at home.
Oh, part of the Squatch clan, huh?
Yeah, rebelling.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
So no Tim. Signature King Tony Fett, would you like to join us? I guess not.
Ouch.
Especially for someone who's about to be gone for the next 2 consecutive shows. And someone who picked tonight's retro review.
I was going to say.
Good thing I read issue 4 in case he doesn't show up.
Yeah, because I've got the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, look who it is.
Made it.
How's it going?
Great.
And I see everybody remembered their red DC shirts. Got the Red Lantern.
Yeah.
Got Lifeguard Aquaman. We've got
the Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Red Hood.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, I'm actually Red Robin, the restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's still good to be here, as well as it's great to see people here like James Warlord is here to kick off the live chat, joining us.
How's it going, man?
Yeah. Christy is here. Christy, I hope you watched the rewind from last week on Comic Food 2814's channel because we were making requests of you.
Oh.
I don't think she saw it.
Oh, Kenneth Bird, hello to you. It's great to see you here. I hope everyone is enjoying their nice weekend.
How's it going, Kenneth?
Yeah. So everyone had a good week. Everyone's doing fine, enjoying the holiday weekend.
Absolutely.
Nice totally.
Holiday, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, we'll relaxing.
Yeah, we'll slide over into some news. Let's talk about action figures for a moment. So, McFarlane Toys has got this Superpowers line of DC Comics action figures, and they're doing quite well with it. And they're launching another wave, and this new wave, which pre-orders have already started for it, consists of 4 new figures. We have Superman, who is in his reborn suit. We have Flash, but it's going to be Wally West Flash in this line.
How can you tell?
Exactly. I think the red's a little bit deeper.
Oh.
I think that's the only way that you can tell.
Okay.
Or it's the
well,
same
sometimes they have the replaceable heads, right? So the hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Wally West, Tim will like this one. I know he doesn't watch the show anymore. No. But they have a Tim Drake Robin. Nice. And then the final one that they've announced for this next wave is Nightwing. Of course, they just did a Nightwing figure, but this is going to be Nightwing in his Batman Nightfall suit.
Is that going to be like the gold collection?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so pre-orders already available for those. They're suggested retail at $9.99 each. Expected release date is October.
I saw they've got some more Green Lantern coming too. They've got like the vampires. Green Lantern coming out.
Oh, wow.
And I think there's another one. It might be a Yellow Lantern Sinestro, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're gonna make me go broke.
Hello, Paul. How are you doing?
Hey, Paul.
Good to see you there. Tony, you have some news for us?
Yeah. How soon do you guys think that Blue Beetle is coming to streaming?
Tomorrow.
That's what I was going to say.
That's pretty darn. That's close, but no. It looks like it's going to hit streaming services on September 19th. So
Wow, that is pretty quick.
that's pretty quick from release. I mean, I'm okay with that. It's just like,
I still have yet to see it, but the reviews I've been seeing they've been a little mixed, but much more so towards the negative. It sounds like
I've seen more that seem towards the positive.
Really,
but I haven't seen it either.
I gotta agree with Fu. I've seen more not as friendly reviews.
Yeah, some of the criticism is that it's just like redundant. It's like it's been played out before. It seems to be just pieces of other superhero movies put together without a lot of original ideas, I get.
Yeah, I agree.
So is this coming out to tie into the Hispanic Heritage Month, which actually doesn't start at the beginning of this month. It actually starts in mid-month. Is that the tie-in for it?
It doesn't say, but I mean, that would make sense.
Well, if it makes sense, then it had to be an accident.
Yeah, right. If DC did it, yeah, I agree. Sam Jackson did an interview, and they were talking about comic books and Marvel and DC, and Sam Jackson said when it comes down to the comics, like the physical books, he prefers DC over Marvel.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I guess when it comes to the movies, I mean, maybe his opinion is a little bit biased. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
what was the name of that one movie he was in where there were snakes on a plane? What was that one called?
Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan in talks to play a DC superhero.
Okay.
But doesn't give any more details.
I think we've heard that before too, right?
We did. He was supposed to be Thomas Wayne.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll never forgive DC for not doing that. I'll never forgive them.
That would have been good.
He would have been, well, he won here. I completely agree. He would have home run it, you know what I mean? But he already played Thomas Wayne. He's Ben Affleck's dad. He's Batfleck's dad in the opening credits of Batman v Superman. So it would have been made perfect sense. Yeah. Same with Maggie, whatever her name is from Walking Dead. I can never remember her name. But she was going to play the Joker. No, seriously, that was the original plan. Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne.
Oh, wow.
Like an
Why would she be the Joker?
Because in that world, in Flashpoint world, she is the Joker.
Yeah, she is the Joker. Martha is the Joker.
Okay. It's been a while since I read it.
That's okay. It would have been so great, and then DC was like, it'd be better if we scrapped all that.
Yeah.
And did nothing. But it's been pretty slow news wise.
Didn't I hear there was an interview with James Gunn where something was said about George Clooney's Batman being in continuity?
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I can't recall the interview. I'd have to look, but yeah, I guess George Clooney's Batman is technically DC canon.
Yeah.
In I forget what universe, but yeah, he's canon now, I guess, which is
it is. Cool. Although it's still not. It is confirmed as well that he's not going to be Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah,
Bold. No,
he's not. Yeah, he's
not.
I honestly, I don't think he would be a good Bruce Wayne anyway. But
I know that they kind of wrapped up at least the live action DCEU portion of Titans, the TV show that had several seasons. But if they decide to bring Titans back, who do you think should play Joanne?
Joanne?
Yeah, Joanne. She's a member of the Teen Titans. She's been there for since 1980.
What?
Joanne.
You're acting like
Tim now.
To the chat.
You're acting like Tim now.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you are.
This is like that Suicide Squad movie where they're like, He was with us the whole time.
Yeah, right.
So in the Night Terrors Titans issue that just came out, technically last month now, the number 2, Joanne ends up saving the Teen Titans and revealing herself as a member since about 1980. You're just nodding your head. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I haven't the slightest. I have no idea.
Who do you want? You know who Joanne is because you read the chat, right?
But I don't know.
You don't know who Joanne is
finally,
either.
finally.
Joanne is the Tower.
Oh,
Joanne is
Tower?
Titan's Tower, and she ended up saving Raven, essentially in the Titans in the Night Terrors book, and revealed that she would prefer to be called Joanne.
So okay, all right. We're not gonna go there. But,
Joanne.
okay, who's gonna play Joanne?
Yeah.
Roseanne.
Yeah.
Why not?
So yeah, Joanne's been a member of the Titans since Wolfman Perez.
But they
Yeah,
didn't
there you go.
talk
First
about it until
appearance.
recently.
It's first appearance.
First appearance, first mention.
First,
Yep.
yeah.
It's a huge key now.
Tim had no
Yeah,
idea
it's
what I
gonna-
was talking about, even after I sent the link that explained what I was talking about. He still had no idea what I was talking about.
I saw the link. I was just busy today, and I didn't.
Today, I sent that days ago.
Well, I saw it today.
Oh.
Black Hawk movie officially scrapped.
Not
So,
surprised.
no Black Hawk movie. I wanted a Black Hawk movie. Deathstroke
I know
movie.
anything about them?
Deathstroke movie is officially rescheduled. Not releasing when they anticipated it to. Oh man, that's a good question.
7, if I'm remembering correctly, is first Wonder Twins.
Glad you brought that up. The Wonder Twins movie is officially canceled.
That was officially canceled a long time ago.
I'm sorry, the Wonder Twins animated series.
Oh, animated. Okay.
Yeah, officially canceled. So I don't know. Wonder Twins. I don't know if you guys are into Wonder Twins.
I'd say
for me.
I'd say keep it in the bag and board, but that's
That's
me.
what I was thinking too.
Yeah, it's something like that. Check the census first to see if it's even worth it. But I will say the coolest pickup of the week so far, comic book wise, Doomsday.
You
Action
got the one in
Comics.
25. Yeah,
Doomsday
I got the
schedule.
A cover.
Yeah, I got the 1 in 25.
Have either of you read that?
I have not.
I have not.
I wonder what it's about.
Probably Doomsday.
It's a
I
one
mean,
shot, all right.
I'm guessing Doomsday.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
can't say for sure. But do you see who the cover artist is on the 1 in 25?
No,
Clayton Crane's. I say his name.
Clayton Crane.
Clayton Crane,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
the guy who stole that other guy's wife.
Yeah.
The wife that looked like the Baroness from G.I. Joe.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
For the whole
Acetate Gate?
acetate gate. Yes,
April, I think, is her name.
yes, it is April. You're right.
Mhm.
I mean, it didn't influence me to buy it. I just really enjoyed. I thought the cover was really cool, and I could get it at regular cover price. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it.
And if you get it signed for a lot of extra money, you can have it signed in his Cranebow signature.
Oh.
Rainbow.
Yeah, he uses different colored
Oh
markers,
yeah,
and
okay.
instead
I
of a
saw that.
rainbow, it's a Cranebow.
I saw that,
And it
but,
is like $25 more to have it in the Cranebow.
can't see that being worth anything special.
It looks cool. but it's
$25
just-
extra. Remember,
Yeah, extra, not, yeah. It looks cool, but
I'm sure it does look cool. I'm
just,
sure
you
it
know
does.
what? Have them just sign it normal and then take your own color markers and trace over it.
There you go.
Clayton Crane isn't. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to get him to sign anything. So honestly, I wouldn't even. I think this would probably be like the first major issue I'd get him to sign.
Yeah, just
Really?
don't take your wife to that show.
No.
Yeah, she'll stay.
Don't even take your mom.
Well, my mom's single, so you know.
There you
Oh,
go.
well, maybe.
Whatever. Yeah, my brother's not doing anything. Maybe. No, but you know who is I don't want to say schmoozer, but you know, it was a funny scenario. I was with Tom King and my wife, and I was getting to sign the wedding issue, and like he's signing his name, and him and my wife are talking, and he asked my wife what he do for a living, and she's like, you know, I'm a nurse, and he's like, oh, I love nurses, and then he wrote "Marry Me" on the cover. Like, just the timing was perfect.
All right.
So now the inside joke is, you know, Tom King was trying to marry my wife.
Then did he say, "Who are you?" And you said her husband?
No, he knew.
Okay.
I was talking to him first.
Oh, you were talking to him first.
He
Okay.
didn't care.
Yeah, he didn't care. He's Tom King. You know, he can do whatever he wants.
Tom King, writer of Wonder Woman.
Yes. I mean, Tom King's a super cool dude. I really enjoy talking to him. Even if you're not a fan of his writing, I mean, he's just an awesome guy to talk to. He's got, you know, we both spent time in the Middle East, and he was working for the CIA. He quit the CIA to write comic books. Like, how cool is that? That's so cool.
That's what he wants you to believe.
Mhm.
It's a cool story. It's a cool story, even if it's fake. I think it's awesome.
My most recent Tom King autograph is not in my hands anymore, but in someone else's in this chat in the screens.
I got it.
He's got it right now.
It's right here.
You have it right there?
Yeah, I got it. This is
Yep,
Magic
that's
Lasso's
it.
Wonder Woman book.
Yep, and in the upper left in gold.
Yep, right here.
Yep.
Pretty awesome.
Nice.
I got to admit, when I first opened the box, I could see Wonder Woman's leg, and it looked like a tattoo. You know,
Oh, a tattoo, yeah. A Michael Conrad tattoo.
Yeah, is that a Michael Conrad? Okay,
That's Michael Conrad, yeah.
I've never seen that one before. That's why I didn't recognize it. But yeah, this issue is gonna really pop. I won't spoil who's gonna go on it, you know, because I'm sure you got plans for that. But yeah, this is I think it's turning out really nice. You've done really well so far.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Of course, the problem is by the time that I get to Travis Moore, who doesn't do conventions and doesn't have a sign in or send in opportunity, there's going to be no space left on that cover for him.
Well,
By the time
Travis
I get
Moore,
to him.
okay, he did the cover, right?
Yeah, he did the cover.
And he doesn't do conventions? That's sad.
He hasn't yet.
Is he fairly new?
Oh, he's been several years, but DC's got him on a lot of covers.
Oh, well then he'd be silly not to. He can make some cash.
I think he lives in like Arizona, maybe.
So he'll probably do a lot of West Coast stuff. Yeah.
But I haven't even seen him at that stuff, like SDCC or stuff. I haven't even seen him there. So.
Wow. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. But yeah, I got this whole box here. See if I can do this. This is a one-of-a-kind box.
With original art?
Original art by my 4-year-old. But you can see I got this. Sucker's pretty full. This is one of 2 boxes going to Comic-Con.
Although that box looks a little bit like Harley practicing.
No. I also printed out a Comic-Con map, what I do every year of where I'm going. And I printed out a guest list of who I'm going to. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited.
Is that next Sunday you're going,
you're going
or
to
is that
be running
Saturday?
through that whole con.
Well, I'm there a long time. So, and I'm flying solo. So I don't like chase kids and, you know, try to get signatures at the same time. So it's going to be fun. I would say one of the coolest books I'm bringing, if I can get it signed, I'm going to get this bad boy signed, hopefully twice. Chris Claremont and Walt Simonson.
Nice.
Who did the cover. So that's my hope. I mean, there's lots of other good ones in there. I can't wait to see if I can get signed. But those are some of the things.
Well, there's a ringing endorsement right there.
So glad I'm going with you this year. Yeah.
Nobody wants to go with him, and he doesn't want anyone to go with
Nope.
him.
Match made in heaven. No, because
she's over the nerds.
Yeah, right. You know, one thing that I think all veterans can attest to is punctuality gives you absolute anxiety. So, and I'm like, oh, it's 10:05, and I need X, Y, and Z by 10:06. So, like, let's go.
I have a radio background. Being 10 seconds late for something can screw up everything for you.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Commercials and stuff got to come out at the same time or whatever. But yeah, news wise, it's pretty bland. Although I will say, cool news. I found this really awesome 1991 comic book magazine.
Wizard.
Oh, Wizard.
Yeah, Wizard. So that's pretty wild. I've been thumbing through it, and guess what's coming up? Marvel Midnight Suns. That's pretty cool. That's pretty. I had a lot of fun flipping through some of these and looking at the up and coming. So here we have Prophet.
We used to read those every month. We would get those in our boxes.
When this came out, I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. When this came out, I was probably my 4-year-old's age. That's probably 4.
Yeah.
Used to be able to find that magazine in the grocery stores too.
Okay.
I mean, I still saw them.
It wasn't in a comic rack. It was like in their actual magazine section, the hobby section.
At your LCS, they just drop one of these in your box for you?
Yeah, I think you could.
Or buy it off the shelf or whatever?
You could add it to your pull list.
Oh, really?
But it was common. Like, I mean, then there was a couple of those, like Comic Reader, and there was a couple.
Okay.
Comic Scene was another magazine geared towards.
Oh, they have a price guide in the back? That's pretty wild. That's neat.
Yeah. I mean, that's how, like, I would go through when I was like, gosh, probably like 13 or so, I guess. I would go through and I would reprice my books every month from those guides.
Really? Every month?
Every month. In fact, when I was in my 30s and I was going back through and rebagging and boarding for the first time, I found all those original price tags that I had put on.
Neat. Yeah, this is like a different era of collecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. You have to, even before then, like you live and die by this magazine. And I want to show this here. So here's a cool throwback picture of Tom Rainey from his younger years. I thought that was pretty cool. Awesome. But that's all I got for news. You guys pick up anything cool? Comic book wise? Nothing? I don't know who picked up
for the book show.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not going to show my cool books, but I mean, have you guys go to LCS yet for the week?
I did, yeah. I haven't been to my main LCS though, so I just picked up some Star Wars.
Now, in your pull box, do you get DC Night Terrors? Or
no, I only have 3 titles in my pull box now: ASM, Saga, and Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. But I thought this, was a. I think Night's End is the official last one for Night Terrors. I gotta say, they've been killing it on Night Terrors for covers. So I thought they did a really awesome job.
I haven't been to the LCS, but yesterday I saw my LGS.
LGS?
Yeah, local German Shepherd.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I have plenty of those around here.
I said, Rex Zachary, is that you? So Tony, you did or anything else before we segue into the retro review?
Nope.
Tony, you picked the retro review tonight. Tell us why.
Yes, I picked it. One, because I don't think we've ever done a Red Tornado story on the show before. So I think this is a Fanboys first. Second, he's not one of my all-time favorites, but a character I enjoy. Just because it's a little different. He's like the DC version of Vision, in a way. And I just think he's maybe a little underrated. I know he made a few appearances on the Supergirl show, but they perceived him to be more like a villain. I don't think he ever did.
He started as a villain.
Yeah, but they never did anything like. They didn't do him any justice. Like, okay, he didn't like redeem himself at the end. No, he died a villain in the Supergirl show, I believe.
Hello to Seeking Superman,
if I recall. But this is a really interesting character that I got introduced to back when Young Justice. I mean, I knew about him before, but I think I saw him on the cartoons a couple times, and that made me want to research him a little bit more. Or maybe he's even Justice League Unlimited. I don't remember, but one of those shows made me want to read some more of his stories.
And then you found his comic, as you showed in your book show.
Yeah, last week at the Comic-Con, I found I think it's volume 1, a 4-issue miniseries of his, and
I had this as an original collector. Is this the first time you've read it?
Yeah, very first time.
Okay, and Fu, did you have this, or have you ever read this?
No.
Okay. So I hadn't read it since it originally came out. So it's been a long time for me.
85?
Yeah, 85.
I was 2.
All right.
So we'll get
no,
started.
actually, I was -2. I was -2.
Math is hard.
Yeah,
mathing is hard.
It's that East Coast math. It's messed up. I gotta say, this first cover is awesome. I don't understand. Oh, it's not on yours. Okay, maybe it's just mine, but Batman's purple on mine.
No, I don't know. Yeah, so issue number 1 here, July of 1985. The cover here, Superman is basically kicking Red Tornado out of the league. So let's see what that's all about. All right, so we start out here with Lana Lang, Superman's or Clark Kent's crush in high school. She is a reporter reporting on a tornado where people are fleeing their homes, and it's causing quite a bit of damage, as you can see. And at that moment, of course, our hero, we get this nice splash here. Red Tornado shows up, and you can see the difference between the natural tornado and his tornado. He's got the kind of the red or the pink hue to it. So he shows up, he goes to the tornado, and he gets this idea that basically he is going to go into the tornado and spin in the opposite direction, basically destroying the tornado. But he has to be very careful, because in doing this, it could actually rip him apart. So it's got to be just perfect. And we're going to get back to that a lot, that his precision is one of his superpowers, really. And so as you can see here, the tornado blows apart when he does this. And fortunately, though, he made it out okay. He lands there and sees the people staring at him, and he immediately thinks, oh, I'll never be accepted by humanity, because he is, in fact, a robot, and he aspires to be a human. So, but he's seen these looks before, and he's like, yeah, they're just never going to accept me. But what he didn't understand is actually this is a small town, and they've just never seen a member of the Justice League before, and they were just really in awe. Lana asked to interview him, but again, Red Tornado is now kind of thinking that the town doesn't really want him there, so he says no time, and he speeds off. All right. So here we get this cool little a couple pages of backstory here, introducing you to the character and his origin. So for those of you unfamiliar with the character, this would be a good jumping off point. Essentially, he was originally created by the villain T.O. Morrow as part of his plan to destroy the Justice League and the Justice Society. But during that original battle, Red Tornado ended up helping the Justice Society and then became a member. Now, he has had a history of going back and forth. He's been destroyed several times, but he keeps coming back together. And in doing so, they realize he's got this kind of special power where they can't quite explain why, but he can retain his memories between these deactivation periods. Now, as I mentioned, he aspires to be a human, so he also has an alter identity where I don't know how he does it, but he can shapeshift, I guess, to some extent. And his name, he goes by the persona of John Smith. And it's a very low level job that he holds. He goes very low key, and we're going to see that's a big part of his story here. So he's on his way to work. He actually works at a temp agency, and the woman, the secretary working there, she helped get him the job, and she actually does know his identity, his secret identity. And it turns out that they are actually in love. They're dating. So it's kind of like a Vision Scarlet Witch type thing. I mean, this story has a lot of parallels to the Age of Ultron movie. But just then, someone comes up and surprises behind them, and it's this little girl. And again, this girl is she's an orphan, Traya, and as it turns out, this woman, Kathy Sutton, and Red Tornado John Smith have not exactly adopted Traya, but they visit her often. And again, Traya too also knows his secret. So the three of them are kind of a makeshift family, if you will, but not exactly. So she brings him this hat to wear because neither of them really have a real birthday. So they just decide it's their birthday. He gets this hat. He's happy about it. And he says, my life is complete. And we start getting these hints that what is her name? Kathy is not so thrilled with Red Tornado's kind of low-key lifestyle. She wants a bit more, and she wants him to want more. So she says, like, how could your life be complete? You've got a low-paying job with no prospects, right? But again, I mean, this is Red Tornado. He's an android, so I don't quite know what she's thinking. She seems a little off to me, but so yeah, we kind of just went through all of that. We're not going to rehash that. So they go out on this date, and as it turns out, the three of them always go on a date together, right? So it doesn't even occur to Red Tornado not to bring the little girl. But while on this date, they are attacked randomly by these 4 robots, and immediately Red Tornado realizes they're after him. He tells the 2 girls to get out of there, and he transforms into Red Tornado and leads them away from the city so that he can battle them properly, away from any friendly fire, right? So he tries talking to them. They're not having any of it. They basically say, my mission is to terminate you. He's like, okay, well, if that's the case, he starts hitting them with his tornadoes, but turns out they are equipped to dodge it. They are prepared. So, but again, he notices that when they battle, they're battling, they've got a pattern. And so he's able to detect the pattern again and alter his attacks just slightly to defeat their defenses. Again, precision, and he blows them all apart. In the last moments, he tries to talk to the one of them, and they basically say, look, you're a machine acting like an ape. You're impure, and all inhumans must be destroyed. So he goes, he's thinking about this. This is the first time he's really had to consider, like, wait a minute, I just saved human life, but I'm a robot and I destroyed a robot. Like, what are the ethics of that, basically? So this robot kind of gets in his head. So he goes home. He's not feeling so well. He doesn't want to talk about it too much. We get, again, some backstory here about an ancient enemy of his, or not ancient, but an older enemy of his called I believe it's the Construct. Is that right?
Yeah. He comes from the Justice League.
Yeah. So this is a villain that has fought Red Tornado several times before. He's essentially a cognizant, self-aware artificial intelligence that lives in the cloud. And when I say the cloud, I actually mean the atmosphere. He is able to control electrical signals in the atmosphere, and by putting it all together, he forms a consciousness. And his mission is to wipe out humanity and let the robots take over. And so he's fought the Justice League a few times, but Red Tornado is the one that is immune to his mind control abilities. And so Red Tornado has kind of been the key in the past to taking him out. All right, so he's at home with Catherine. Again, it's kind of this back and forth where, again, she wants him to want more for himself, basically. I won't go too much into that. We go back to the TV and we see Lana Lang again, and she's beginning to talk about the damage the tornado caused and how people are beginning to suspect maybe Red Tornado caused the tornado damage himself. And he's like, I didn't do that. He's like, why do they always accuse me of this? And just then he hears Red Tornado come outside and he realizes that's Superman's voice. So he goes outside and the whole Justice League's waiting for him. He's like, hey guys, how's it going? And they're like, yeah, none of that. We've seen what you've done. We're tired of your screw ups. And effective immediately, you're done. You're out of the league. And we don't want to see you use your powers again. And if we do, we're going to dismantle you. So you can live your little John Smith life, but we don't let us catch you using your powers. And you're out of the league. Have fun. Good luck. So he flies off all depressed, and just then after he does, you see each of the Justice League members kind of like, whoa, what was that? What are we doing here? Anybody remember? No, it couldn't have been that important. If it was, we'd remember. So clearly we see they've just been mind controlled. That was not of their own doing. So, but then they go down under, I believe, the UN building where there's a secret hideout for the Justice League where they've got this machine that has been there all along, basically ensuring that it's a machine Wonder Woman actually created, I guess, to randomize the signals in the atmosphere to prevent the reconstruction of the construct because they can't ever fully defeat him. All they can do is randomize the signals in the atmosphere. So this machine has to run 24/7 to maintain that, and the Justice League checks on it once a month. So that's what they're down there to do. And this is just telling the story of that. The thing we learned, though, again, this construct apparently has mind control capabilities. And while they think the Wonder Woman's like, yeah, the machine's working great. Actually, as you can see here, it's all been destroyed. There was actually a rodent that came in and chewed out the wires and released the construct, essentially. And he is mind controlling the Justice League to think that this machine is still intact. Meanwhile, he is beginning to build out his electrical network throughout the atmosphere. Waiting for his moment to strike, but he knows that first he's got to take out Red Tornado because Red Tornado is the one that is immune to his powers and has defeated him in the past. Okay, so we get this big storm. It's causing a lot of damage throughout the city. Red Tornado is just a mess, thinking that the world has turned against him, and that's where we leave off with issue 1.
Okay, we'll say hi quickly to Shop for Comics, who's joined us. Hope you're having a good holiday weekend.
Absolutely.
All right, on to issue number 2. Really cool cover here. We see Red Tornado's all torn apart. All right. Oh, the original superpowers. Check that out. Gosh, I wish I still had mine. All right. So we pick up where we left off. Red Tornado. There was storms going on. It's a really bad storm. But Red Tornado is, again, just kind of wallowing in his own self-pity. At the same time, Superman shows up. He's helping clean up after the storm, rescues this guy's airplane. The guy's thanking him, and just then Superman is mind controlled again, and he's like pushes the kid out of the way and says, "You bother me, get out of here," and steals some of the kid's equipment. Flies off. Catherine Sutton, she's here again, waiting for Red Tornado, getting upset and annoyed again. Where is he? People out there on the streets are looking up in the sky. And they see Superman riding in the sky with some kind of whatever that engine was that he stole. He's skywriting. Red Tornado, meet me at the Brooklyn Bridge urgently. I need your assistance on an important case. Soups. So Red Tornado's thrilled, overwhelmed, very hopeful. He shows up to meet Superman, and Superman rips his arm off. Rips his legs off, rips his other arm off. He's like, dude, I saw you use your power. I warned you. Rips his head off. You're done. Drops him into the Hudson. Or the East River. And there he falls down. But no sooner he puts himself back together, because again, he's got regenerative abilities. As I mentioned, he's been destroyed several times before, and he can always put himself back together. Now he's mad. He's mad. He has been betrayed by the citizens. He's been betrayed by the Justice League. Superman just ripped him apart like he was nothing. He's upset. He decides he's not doing anything else for humanity ever again. He doesn't care what happens to him. The Construct sees this and says, just what I was looking for. Now is the time to strike. So he enacts his plan and starts destroying all electronics throughout the world. The Russians realize this is stemming from America, because all of their nuke codes have been changed as well. Star Labs is affected. All over, everyone's realizing. The only one that really realizes what truly is happening here and that Construct is behind this is actually T.O. Morrow. But he doesn't know what to do about it, because he can't contact the Justice League because he's wanted. So they'll just arrest him. So he decides, I guess, he's got to find another way to stop him. He's got some kind of plan. Meanwhile, at the park, Red Tornado's taking his human form. He's pacing back and forth, all upset, trying to figure out what to do with himself. Just then, he hears firemen over there. There's some kids trapped on a burning building, and being the hero that he is, he can't sit by and do nothing. As upset as he is, he shows up to help. Rescues the firefighters, he rescues the kids, and once again, the people turn against him. They think that he's responsible for the storm. Again, we see the precision that he took in just barely holding himself together to prevent the building rubble from hitting the people on the head, but they don't trust him. Oh, by the way, do you guys remember Bonkers?
Oh yeah,
I do. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that in forever.
I know.
Gum with the stuff in the middle.
Yeah,
it was a gum, right?
No, it was just a candy. It was double flavor. I used to love going and getting these and then reading my comics. All right. So again, he's like, I'm done with humanity. I don't care what happens to them. He even pushes goes to see Traya. Traya becomes mind controlled and turns against him too. She says they should scrap you and start over. He's done. He's done. He pushes Catherine out of the way, throws everyone around, and like, if humanity's destroyed someday, I shall not care. I'll be glad to hear about it. Glad. So let's see. He busts out of there and he is gone, and Construct thinks he has won. The age of the machine is at hand. And with that, we end issue number 2, and I will hand it off to Lasso. I think you've got issue 3.
Yeah, can you pull up the assist for 3 though?
Yeah.
So we got a really good cover here with Kathy Sutton asking Red Tornado for the help to fight the Construct, and he says, why should I? I'm just another machine. Then we have what I think, there's some really good splash pages in this book, but the first splash page on this issue, I think, is so good that if you remove the text, that would be an awesome poster.
That would be a cool poster. You're right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So we have Red Tornado. He's out. I think he's in the Rocky Mountains, and he is fully accepted that he is done with humanity. And meanwhile, what's going on is we have all the superheroes trying to fight the machines. You briefly see that we've even got Doom Patrol, we got the Teen Titans, we got the Justice League, all going here, and that's what's going on in the world. And there's a little bit of a recap of kind of what's going on since Red Tornado took off from Kathy. and how almost the entire world has been possessed by the construct. And the Justice League can't fight the robots fast enough, and if you try to break them, they kind of essentially put themselves back together. T.O. Morrow is observing all of this. He hasn't been affected by the construct yet, and he realizes he's got to do something. He's going to start building something that can fight the construct. So Kathy Sutton, she wonders, where is the Red Tornado? So I think this is cool. Keep in mind, this is 1985, and essentially what she's doing is using the internet. You got to remember 1985 and the internet. That's crazy. So she's kind of like, where is John Smith, aka the Red Tornado? Well, the internet gives her an answer, and also suggests that T.O. Morrow could be of help or of assistance. So she kind of thinks that T.O. Morrow might actually be behind this, and she takes off with the intent that she's going to kill him, and maybe that will free the construct or help Red Tornado. So she goes to fly out. And if you notice the eyes, you look at a lot of these people with the eyes, it's got like the dark raccoon circles around their eyes. Those are the people that have been affected already by the construct. But she's able to fly out with no problem. She's able to rent a car with no problem to get as close as she can. She stops and gets herself a gun. She gets herself an Indiana Jones hat. And she starts heading out, and she's going to find T.O. Morrow. She ends up at his house. He opens the door to be greeted with a gun pointed right at him. And he says, that's really not necessary. We're both in the same boat. And she starts to realize that the man that she thinks is responsible for, the one she was about to kill, he's aware of what's going on, and he's actually trying to stop the problem. And he's showing her the technology that he's working with in trying to be able to overtake the construct, but he's still not done. And he's got to focus on this nonstop before the construct gets him. But all of a sudden, as you see in that second panel, the construct's got him. And you can see that raccoon shape in his eyes. And Kathy's able to know where Red Tornado is because T.O. Morrow knew where Red Tornado was. So she takes off, and she's headed to Colorado Springs. And all of a sudden, she starts hearing voices of the construct through her radio. And she actually takes her gun and shoots her radio, thinking that could shut him up, but it doesn't, because the construct starts speaking to her through the car, through different devices in the car. So she's like, well, I know what I will do. I will get away from the construct so he can't possess me. And she's able to find a farm that she recently passed when she drove past, and there's a horse there. So she jumps on the horse that she nicknames Trigger, and she starts to take off when the construct starts talking to her, this time through her watch. So she whips her watch off and she pitches it, and the construct is still yelling out these warnings. There's no escape. You're one of the last people left on Earth. And she finally gets up to this location where Red Tornado is, John, and she sees him standing up there, and she calls to him, but no response. And so she starts to climb, and apparently this is a very long climb, very frustrating climb, but finally she makes it to the top where Red Tornado is standing, and she's asking for help, and he's not doing anything. She even grabs his foot, finally, to be able to get up there, and Red Tornado essentially is still in that same state of, I'm just a machine. He's like, look at those campers over there, and they need to get, they need to get to the water to be able to leave, but fire's surrounding them. That's their problem. If I just try to help them, they would just blame me. And she's like, this is the construct doing this to you. And Red Tornado's like, the construct? And she's like, oh yeah, you don't know what's happening. And she essentially tells him that the construct was behind all that stuff, making him think that he wasn't wanted, changing the fate and destiny, or the fate and the words of Lana Lang and the different people in the town. They were all being mind controlled. The Justice League members all being mind controlled by the construct. And he's like, but they're right. Everything they said about me is right. And she's like, no, they're not. And he says, I no longer wish to talk to you. And she's like, well, that's too bad. And he's like, well, then I'm going to leave, if you won't leave. And she starts to say, what about love? Has that passed beyond you too? The fact that you even have to question if you have feelings goes to show that you have feelings. And she's like, doesn't this count to anything? And she's like, he says that she disturbs him. And he's like, the fact that I disturb you, that's a feeling that goes to prove that you're real. and he flies off. And she's like, "Oh, wait, I didn't mean that. Stop." And he turns around, comes back down, and it seems like he realizes what's going on when all of a sudden, like this mega storm, this red tornado essentially gets caught up into this storm. And then you get a big full page splash on the next page of him saying, I am. And then as we go back, one thing that this issue does a lot is a lot of flashbacks into the history of Red Tornado. So we see when Red Tornado originally started out as the Tornado Tyrant. We see the battle with Adam Strange and the Justice League. We see how he ended up in the body, the android body that was created by T.O. Morrow. There he is in his original costume. How he became a member of the Justice Society. And what he realizes that he's talking to is essentially his spirit. So there's Red Tornado, the shell of the android, and the spirit, but they're now merged into one, and he realizes this. So he flies back to thank Kathy, and then he's like, oh, one moment. And he flies over and saves those campers that were in trouble with the fire. And he talked about how when he originally saw them, he didn't feel anything. But now when he saw him, he felt that he had to act. He had to do something. He kisses Kathy, and then he's like, I need to save the world. I am going to destroy the construct. And that's the end of my issue.
Yeah, so I had issue 4. You want me to pop my screen up here? I can do that.
Sure.
Here. This is the big conclusion to this 4-issue miniseries here. Red Tornado versus Construct. And it's a ghost city. The only thing left in the city actually are rats, and even Construct right here in this panel is mind controlling the rats. Because why not? When you conquer all the people, go for the rats. In fact, the whole world is under Construct's mind control. Red Tornado has a great line here. He's like, the number of minds not under his control can be counted on your thumbs. So that's not a lot. Red Tornado finally gets a locale on Construct, or at least an idea where he's at, and he heads to that little abandoned warehouse, finds Mr. T.O. Morrow and incapacitated and constructs all over the monitor, and he's like, listen, you're just in time. You're gonna see me destroy humanity. Isn't that great? That's what you wanted. That's what we want. We want to rule the earth together. And Red Tornado's like, yeah, listen, I know I was saying that, but it turns out you were kind of mind controlling them and making me, feel a certain way. So, if you could not destroy humanity, that'd be great. But so Construct has got one surprise for Red Tornado. He's able to put himself together in a similar way that Red Tornado does and become in a physical form, ready to do battle. They slug it out, which is got some great art here. I got to point that out, especially when they do a lot of close-ups on Red Tornado's face. I can't remember who did the art on this. I have to look, but I feel like they did a pretty good job.
Carmine Infantino.
Yes. A great sounds like a mafia name, but he's like, listen, I'm not just gonna let humanity die. And he's actually getting the best of Construct, where and then suddenly he's shot in the arm, and then they make the fire extinguisher go off. I just love this thought bubble. He's like, oh no, my arm, it's short circuiting. So he lost an arm, due to a gunshot and some water. But and it looks like he's mind controlling. Not only is he mind controlling the people, but he's also making them actively participate in the hunt and destruction of Red Tornado. So the battle continues, and it looks like Red Tornado is he's down to his skeleton. And I love these old ads, by the way. I just really like looking at them. I get distracted by them all the time. Although I don't know if this one by Bill Cosby is aged very well. Yeah, but that's okay. At least it wasn't like get this Bill Cosby approved drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't that.
And he wasn't hawking his pudding pops.
Yeah, right. But I just love what it says. If you can't send money, send money. Like, no. So anyway, the red tornado, he's really incapacitated here. And then Construct sends his head over to find gosh, what the heck was her name? I forgot her name already.
Catherine?
Kathy Sutton.
Kathy, because in here in my issue it doesn't say her name. So I learned it while you guys were reading yours.
And look, she's got raccoon eyes.
Yep, she's got raccoon eyes. Red Tornado is out of luck. It's just him. He's the last one on Earth that's not under Construct's spell. So Construct does able to catch up to Red Tornado and hits him with his mind control beam, and it doesn't work. And he's like, "Listen, I'm like, there's a human element of me, but I'm a machine just like you, and machine tricks don't really work on other machines." But he's like, "Well, I'm able to disable machines, so let's try that trick instead." And the raging battle continues, and they throw laser beams back and forth trying to disable the other one. Red Tornado is able to dodge most of them, but he does take a couple of direct hits, and as he's like losing consciousness, he has flashbacks to all his human friends and whatnot. And he's like, I just wish I was a person. Like I'm a machine now, but I empathize more with people. And he's able to find some inner strength and kind of whirlwind the Construct around and destroy him. Just after that, Tio Morrow wakes up and realizes kind of what's going on here, and he's slowly coming out of the mind control thing, and he's able to give Red Tornado some a tracking device and a microphone that's able to make him sound more human, which is pretty cool. We go back to New York City, and he's at the temp pool, and he's like, "Listen, this is my final resignation here, and I'm off to go find out." By the way, he's got like human skin now. He's like essentially, for all sense of the word, he's human, except his insides are not, and he's off to find out what it means for human. And the last part here is funny. Best part of the whole series is they're just throwing out names of what he can call himself. And even to the last panel here, they are throwing names out, trying to get him to pick one. I don't know how well you can see this. I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit here. But
did somebody say John Constantine?
I'll show you the list of names and see if there's a few that you can.
There's some I recognize.
Yeah, see if there's some that you recognize and where you recognize them from.
Herb Tarlick is a fictional character on WKRP. He was the salesman.
Yep. There's a couple of them on here.
Ben Franklin, of course.
Yep.
Yep.
My favorite one is Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Stan Lieber is Stan Lee's real name.
Yep. There's a couple of them on here. Yep. They cut out Constantine, but yeah, it's John Constantine.
Francis the Talking Mule.
Morton Salt, which is actually a product.
Yep. I think there's only like one more. Cosmo Brown, which in reverse is Cosmic Brownies. From Little Debbie's, the name after Little Debbie snack. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Really nice way to wrap up this issue. Trying to pick a name. I don't even know how you would say this. John something Maximus? Quandrismus? I don't know. But Yeah, I just thought Peter Venkman was the best one on there. But that wraps it up. He's human. He's going off to find out what it means to be human.
So let's talk about this miniseries a little bit, and I do have trivia as well.
All right.
Oh,
let's do,
trivia.
let's do
Very cool.
trivia right now.
Okay.
In the course of the 4 issues, what 2 real-life musical artists were mentioned?
Musical artists? I don't recall.
Boy, somebody doesn't even pay attention to my Instagram stories either then.
I reposted your Instagram story.
You did with one of the answers.
Oh, geez. Oh, my gosh. I got no idea.
There were 2 real-life musicians mentioned or name dropped in the course of this 4-issue series.
I'm going to cheat here.
You're going to Google the answer?
No, I was going to look up the Instagram stories.
Elvis Presley.
Okay.
And Roseanne Cash.
Roseanne Cash, okay.
Who's the daughter of Johnny Cash, a country music star in her own right.
Very cool.
So I found it interesting that they would, why in the world would you put the construct right below the United Nations, where something that can control people's minds can get first access to all of the leaders of the world? That would be like the last place you would put that. Why wouldn't you put that in the fortress? Or why wouldn't you put that off of the planet, maybe?
And it's in a secret tunnel where the entire Justice League has to go check on it together once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'd drop them into like a deep pit inside of a mountain or something. Somewhere.
Yeah, I'd put them in a box in the ocean.
Yeah, there you go. Well, then he can get to the fish and, that's game over from there.
Make it Aquaman's problem.
Yeah, there you go. Make it his problem.
Well, it wasn't entrapping the construct, right? The device simply was randomizing the electrical signals in the atmosphere.
So I remember this construct storyline from the Justice League.
Okay.
It was kind of it was several issues. They actually laid the groundwork for that pretty early, then did another storyline and then came back. Which back then in the Bronze Age, they didn't lay out stories like that, No. So that was kind of interesting. But regarding this series, I like a lot of the multiple full-page splashes that we got in all of the issues. Some of those were really good. Overall, it's okay. I mean, the construct isn't that compelling of a villain for me. Yeah. I think this could have been a 1-issue one-shot like Tony, we did the Zatanna one instead of a 4-issue mini. It might have been a better 1-issue one shot.
I like when they do more than one. Like this, I like the Zatanna story. But the problem is it was way too long.
The Zatanna story was supposed to be a 4-issue limited series that cut back into 1 issue.
They crammed everything into 1 issue.
Yeah.
Well, that 4-issue mini thing, that was their thing back in the 80s. Right?
Yeah, it was. It's nice to see Red Tornado get some spot coverage on his own. I did like, when he started questioning if I'm a machine who destroys a machine. That's an interesting thing to think about.
Yep.
And Kurt Busiek was the writer of this. So those are kind of my general thoughts. I'm going to do 3 out of 5 for this. Other thoughts for you guys?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, 2.5 out of 5. Not that I didn't like it, but, I didn't think the construct was the greatest villain for this story anyway, but,
yeah, I would go with, I was going to say 2.5 as well. It was good. I thought the artwork, I actually didn't think the artwork was all that great at times, but I like the way they positioned everything. So like the movement and all that was well. It's just sometimes some of the people's faces, I was like, whoa, what happened to that person? Their eye got knocked to the side of their head or something. But, so the art was okay. The story, again, it was just okay. I mean, granted, I've now seen Age of Ultron, so it felt a bit of like a rehash, but
although this came first,
did it? Okay, that's fine. But it's a pretty common story or theme of, the robot wants to be a human, and So, but having said all that, I thought it was a good introduction to the character for anybody that maybe wasn't as familiar. So they did a good job with the 1 or 2 page backup or origin stories in each issue. So I like that.
I would replace the Construct villain with Metallo. I
Yeah.
think that might be an interesting story.
What about Brainiac?
No, too big.
Too big? Okay.
Too big, yeah.
Let's say hi to a couple people who've joined us too. The
Sure.
Sniper Who, it's great to see you. And I want to say hi to Sean. Sean, it's great to see you as well. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're both having a good holiday weekend.
Now, what if you were to team up with the Metal Men? That was a 4-issue mini we just did recently.
Yeah. I can see that. That makes sense. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Or a Red Tornado and the Metal Man versus Metallo and Construct.
Yeah. There you go.
Just an all robot fight. That'd be pretty fun.
So I don't actually remember John changing his name after this, though, even though he was suggesting it. I don't know if that happened, if that was just a plot point that they thought maybe we'll do that and try to, do like this series seemed like a soft reboot for the character in a sense.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a lot coming from that. And then Crisis happened right immediately after. So
let me see. I think this run is a key. Let me look real quick. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay, here we go. I believe just the first one though.
Okay.
Is oh, never mind. None of them are. I lied. For some reason, Red Tornado Volume 2, Issue 1 is the key, and not Volume 1, Issue 1.
Okay.
Well, whatever. So no keys in this run, unfortunately. No keys. But still cool to have. I paid $3 for 4 issues. I'll take it.
Yeah, you did good on that.
Yeah, I did good. Plus, a run like that, if it's just 3-4 issues, why not? I've played a couple Batman ones, the Superman ones, but none of the X-Men ones. Unless it was you're talking about Super Nintendo, then.
I remember the old Superman Returns. That first mission trying to stop the asteroids. Pain in the butt.
Superman 64, no greater game. And if you played that game, you know that's a lie. Most people can't make it to level 2. It's impossible. It's so stupid. I've seen pawn shops just give that game away. That's how bad it is. It was so bad, GameStop didn't want it because it wouldn't sell. Sounds like a DC thing to do.
Yeah, we're moving on to the book show channel portion of Fanboys Live. Who would like to go first?
Not me.
Okay, Fu, go ahead. Tell us what's going on in your channel and what book show you brought for us tonight.
All right. Well, so I just released this past week my latest comic finds video where I continue to collect the Death of Superman. I have moved on to the foreign variants. I showed a German variant, some Spanish variants, some Mexican variants, and a full run of the Italian variants. It was a very large run. However, there was one issue missing, and that one just arrived this weekend.
Nice.
And you can see this is by Play Press. It's an Italian publisher. And Tony, check this out on the inside cover. I thought you might like this.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what it says.
I have no idea.
Aliens that speak Italian? That's weird.
Yeah. So, nothing planned for the channel offhand, but I got some new books. I got to go get the rest of my books from my LCS, and I'll probably put together another haul video.
Cool.
I got to say, I've been pretty enjoying your Superman, Death of Superman collection, just watching it grow.
Yeah.
And
I thought I'd be done long ago. I had no idea it was going this big.
Well, it's great that, you have this favorite story that they literally made like 1 billion of, it seems like. Just when I'm thinking, okay, what are you on print run 18? Like, okay, like there's none, right? Like that's it. And then like, oh, by the way, we're gonna go grab some, German versions, or Italian versions, or Portuguese, or Spanish, or whatever. And I was like, good Lord, like no, like it just goes to show, like at the time when that story was like red hot, you know what I mean? DC just was printing on all cylinders, you know what I mean? And in Italy too, apparently. So do you know when that was printed or published, or was it about the same time? Or
1994.
Okay,
so I think the first one was 92, although this one probably was 93 by the time this came out. So
Is that cover unique to that country, or was that cover used here in the United States?
No, this cover is used here, but they rearranged some of the things.
They did,
so
okay.
It's not.
I see the cape is gone.
And because he was in heaven basically with his father. But yeah, and the story is the same, but it's in a different order, like in terms, like because the original story came out in 4 different titles. So like here they're just thicker books, they're card stock covers, and they just mashed it all into one story, right? Over multiple issues. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Hello really quickly to Super Russ 9000 who stopped by to see us. Before we get to Tony and his book show portion, am I excited for Wonder Woman video game? I'm not a gamer myself. I've been wondering if I should buy this or if this will get me to buy a gaming system. So I think it's awesome that she's finally getting her own video game, long overdue.
One thing I think you should do, and you don't have to do this if you're a gamer, but you take a good game like, Injustice, and somebody just played the game and smashed all the cutscenes together to make, a movie. And it's pretty cool to see the role that Wonder Woman played, including the new Suicide Squad versus Justice League video game. It turns out that, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but Wonder Woman is literally the only one on the planet to save the Justice League and possibly beat Brainiac, which I thought was pretty unique. So check that out too if you're into DC and video games. It's worth it.
Yeah, Tony, what do you got going on your channel and book shows?
Channel wise, just a lot of shorts coming out per usual. I'm not putting out any big content, at least for a little while. Like I said, we got this big box going to Comic-Con, so there's a ton of content coming in here that is going to be pretty unique, I think. But book show, I decided, you know what? I don't have any Red Tornado to show other than those books that we saw last week. So this book I'm bringing to Baltimore Comic-Con. As you can see, it's definitely shiny. I didn't know what to get signed by Scott Snyder. And honestly, I had a whole bunch signed by him. So I wanted something unique. And the more I looked into this, the more it made sense because I can get it signed a few different times by some people on the book. And you know what? I think I'm going to get this one witnessed, a CBCS witness, just because it's cool. And that book here would be Justice League Golden Foil #1. Gonna get it signed by Scott Snyder, Chung, and Mark Morales. So yeah, this one's gonna look great. Like I said, it's gonna get witnessed and all that good stuff. And now I just need to decide what color goes on these, because these foil covers, the best thing you can do with them is paint marker and then just kind of let it dry. It just looks the best in my opinion. Nice. Yeah, that's what I got coming up on my channel. Baltimore Comic-Con. We are 6 days away. And I'm going to say it on this channel. I'm going to say it on a whole bunch of other channels. But if by any chance anyone out there watching live or on the Rewind is going to attend Baltimore Comic-Con this Saturday, if you find me, I have a prize for you. So come and find me if you're there.
Well, here comes every Harley Quinn cosplayer getting stopped.
No, they get nothing.
Yeah, find Tony at Baltimore Comic-Con.
Yeah, what I'm saying is everyone that's dressed as Harley Quinn is going to get stopped saying, "Are you Tony?"
Yeah.
Oh, then I don't care. That's fine with them. Nope.
Get your pictures with Tony in his Harley cosplay outfit. Baltimore Comic-Con.
This Saturday, yeah.
I can't imagine anybody getting a photo. because it doesn't exist. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
So on my channel, as always, what's already out there, I did a comic book editions video this past week. I showed some recent back issues into my collection. I also showed some Wonder Woman incentive covers, including two amazing. It's the same image, but one is black and gold and one's the regular color for Wonder Woman 800, the David Nakayama variant that was an exclusive for Midtown Comics. So I got those showcased in my latest video. Had the back issue of the week short, of course. Those always come out on Monday mornings. Tomorrow will be no exception. The one that's dropping tomorrow is a really trippy story about DC comic heroes playing a game of baseball against DC comic villains. It is really trippy. We'll have to retro review that sometime. Hey, Crazy Ivan, hope you're doing well. And then on Tuesday, I'm dropping another comic book editions video. This one, just some more back issues into my collection. So very soon on my channel, you're going to start seeing the beginning of a lot of Justice League books that I've added into my collection. So excited for that. But I want to show some Justice League right now as my book show. And the first one that I chose, Red Tornado became a member of the Justice League in issue 105. But in issue 106, he wasn't on the cover of 105. But 106, the day I joined the JLA is the day I killed them all. And I think that that's a pretty cool cover there with the original costume. And then the other one, I decided to pick one that has him wearing the costume that I like best, which was the costume that he wore in the miniseries that we reviewed tonight. This was the final issue of a Construct storyline originally that they did in Justice League. So this is Justice League of America number 146. And here we have, he brought the Red Tornado back to life only to kill him again. And you can be in the Superman movie.
I can?
You can.
Awesome. I thought I was going to be in the Flash, but I must have got cut for budgeting.
Yeah.
Hey, you made Suicide Squad, so there you go.
You did. I might be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. They filmed Superman and Superman 2 for the majority of it together at the same time. Oh. I think that the contest winner from this contest ended up in Superman 2 in the Niagara Falls scene.
Oh,
I don't think it's the little boy that fell. I'm sure it's not him, but I think that he's in the background or whatever, milling around in that Niagara Falls scene.
Can you imagine you win that contest and they kill you?
And then you get tossed down Niagara. Congratulations, kid. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, that would be really funny. It'd be like, the Saw movies were doing some kind of promotion like that and they killed you.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, subscribe to everyone. There's links for all of the Fanboys channels in the YouTube channel description for this video. And even the one that doesn't show up anymore, he even put out a video that was really good. He got a nice Shazam key into his collection that he showed in that video, among some other really nice things, too. And he has his little opening monologue, too, with his action figures. And even Wonder Woman's participating in the opening of this one. So... You can check that out. There's links for everybody. And of course, among the live chatters here too, please support their content because everyone's doing such a good job. And it's always nice to make new friends in the comic book community and support one another. Like the Hokey Pokey, that's what it's all about. That brings us to the end of the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube. Comic Food 2814, your channel next week then?
Sure.
Okay, so find us on Comic Food 2814's channel next Sunday night. We look forward to seeing you then. Tony, you're going to be gone for a couple weeks?
I am. I'm going to be in the middle of the ocean.
You're going in a box in the ocean?
Yes.
Okay, so Tony's going to be on the Love Boat. Welcome aboard, it's Love.
Now, I thought it was going to be adrift with a ball called Wilson.
Oh,
but maybe not.
Maybe not. But no Tony for a couple weeks. She's still got us hot dogs here in the top row, though.
I wouldn't say no, Tony. I mean, you never know. He might make an appearance.
Well, that's true.
That's funny.
Yeah. Have a great bonus day to your weekend tomorrow, and thanks for watching Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. Bye.